Robert Reich, the former Secretary of Labor in the Clinton administration, longtime friend of the Clintons, professor at UC Berkeley right now, and I believe political science. Might be economics, actually. He's an economist. He writes, and this is from his blog, but it's all over the internet. You can find it on Alternate, you can find it on Huffington Post, you can find it everywhere. And it's an argument that I have been making now for almost a year. Basically, ever since Bernie announced and started really picking up traction quickly, everywhere except in the mainstream media, is that, well, here's what Robert Reich says. A Democratic operative I've known since the Bill Clinton administration told me, now that she's won the nomination, Hillary is moving to the middle. She's going after moderate swing voters. And he says, presumably that's why she tapped Tim Kaine to be her vice president. Kaine is as vanilla middle as you can get. But then he goes on to point out the most powerful force in American politics today is anti-establishment fury at a system rigged by big corporations, Wall Street, and the super wealthy. And that's why Donald Trump won the Republican nomination. It's why Bernie Sanders won 22 states. It's why Bernie Sanders won the majority of all votes in the Democratic primary of voters under 45 years old. Because, Robert Reich, there are no longer moderates. There is no longer a center. There's authoritarian populism, Trump, and democratic populism, Bernie's political revolution, which is now up for grabs. And he says if Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party don't recognize this realignment, they're in for a rude shock, as I'm afraid is the nation, because Donald Trump does recognize it. His authoritarian populism, I am your voice, is premised upon it. And what is the keystone, the touchstone for the anti-establishment anger and upset that's blowing across America right now? It's money in politics. Very simply, everything else comes out of that. We can't get a jobs program. Why? Because money in politics. We can't get climate change fixed. Why? Because money in politics. We can't do anything about student loans and student debt and reducing the cost of tuition. Why? Money in politics. We can't do anything about shutting down private prisons and the school to prison pipeline, or for that matter, private schools being paid for with taxpayer funds. We can't do anything about that. Why? Money in politics. Because the people who run all these industries are buying politicians. And it used to be called bribery, but the Supreme Court has said, no, it's perfectly legal.